Hello everyone, welcome all of you. Myself, Dr. Anil Kolfe, Assistant Professor, Arihant College of Arts, Commerce and Science, Bavdan Buduk, Pune. Today, I am delivered topic entitled Structure of Indian Financial System. First, introduction. The economic sense in the post-independence period had seen a sea change, the end result being that the economy has made enormous progress in diverse fields. There has been a quantitative expansion as well as diversification of economic activities. The experience of the 1980s have led to the conclusion that to obtain all the benefits of greater reliance on voluntary market-based decision making, India needs efficient financial system. Then another next point is that significance of the Indian financial system. The term financial system is a set of interrelated activities services working together to achieve some predetermined purpose or goal. It includes different markets, the institutions, instruments, services and mechanisms which influence the generation of savings, investment capital formation and growth. Then next, definitions of Indian financial systems. There are some definitions given by various authors of regarding about the financial system. First is that Van Horn defined the financial system as the purpose of financial markets to allocate savings efficiently in an economy to ultimate users either for investment in real assets or for consumption. Then second, Christie has opened that the objective of the financial system is to supply funds to various sectors and activities of the economy in ways that promote the fullest possible utilization of resources without the destabilizing consequence of price level changes or unnecessarily interference with individual desires. Then third, according to Robinson, the primary function of the system is to provide a link between savings and investment for the creation of new wealth and to permit portfolio adjustment in the composition of the existing wealth. Then next, the core part of this particular presentation, structure of Indian financial system. First of all, the Reserve Bank of India is a central bank of India in our Indian financial system. It can be the structure of Indian financial system is described as following some points. The Reserve Bank of India is the supreme monetary and banking authority in India, and this bank bears the responsibility to control and regulate the functioning of the banking system in India. Then the Reserve Bank of India performs all the typical functions of central bank. Its main function is to regulate to monetary mechanism comprising the of the country. For this, the bank is given the monopoly of note issue and has wide powers over the commercial banks. First uh, agency, it means there are major three agencies like that: commercial banks, cooperative banks, and regional rural banks. First is that commercial banks. Commercial bank, it means the commercial banks are those banks which started mainly to earn profit as well as to render different types of services to their depositors. It enables large payments to be made over a long distances with maximum expenses. It constitutes the very life blood of an advanced economic society. Commercial banks have a long history of their existence for many decades. Mobilization of urban saving is done by the commercial banks, and they make availability of these accumulated savings for providing credits to the working capital requirement of different categories of industries and trading units. Due to nationalization of big commercial banks in 1969, commercial banks are broadly classified as the first public sector banks, and another one is that uh, nationalized bank. First, public sector banks in 1999, Indian banking system had 27 public sector banks. The public sector banks have wider objectives of rapid economic development. They have been successful in quantitative expansion of banking through more branches, higher deposits, and credit distributions. The public sector banks undertake social responsibilities in a big way. Then, under the public sector banks, uh, some Reserve Bank of India is under the public sector banks, State Bank of India, and its associate banks. The State Bank of India is the founder and the flagship member of the State Bank Group. The seven associate banks of Reserve Bank of India are follow. First is that State Bank of Bikaner and Jaipur, then State Bank of Hyderabad, then State Bank of Indore, State Bank of Mysore, State Bank of Patiala, State Bank of Saurashtra, and State Bank of Travancore. These are the seven banks which is under the State Bank of India and its associate banks. Then another part is that nationalized banks. It means under the Banking Companies Act 1970, the central government acquired the undertakings of the 14 major Indian banks. These banks are then recognized as a nationalized bank. These are the following listed. First is that the Central Bank of India, then another one, the Bank of India, then the Punjab National Bank, then the Bank of Baroda, then the Union Commercial Bank, Canara Bank, the United Bank of India, Syndicate Bank, the Union Bank of India, Allahabad Bank, the Indian Bank, Bank of Maharashtra, the Indian Overseas Bank, which are the 14 banks which are under the nationalized bank in Indian banking system. Then another second part which is under commercial banks, private sector banks. Private sector banks, it means in our Indian economy is mixed economy, and the private sector also occupies an important place and is expected uh, to to play an important role in economic development. The existence of private sector banks has enlarged consumers' choice. These banks are giving through competition to the public sector banks by introducing various innovative like ATM facility, 24 hours banking, then home banking, etc. facilities. The private sector banks again can be divided between two parts. First part is that Indian banks, and this particular Indian banks, the banks which have their head office in India and which are owned, controlled and managed by the Reserve Bank of India are known as a Indian bank. And another second one type, foreign banks. The foreign banks which have their head office overseas and which are owned, controlled and managed from other countries, these are the known as foreign banks. But nationalized or public sector banks and private sector banks, the public sector banks consist of the State Bank of India and its associate banks along with another 21 banks which were nationalized. Then small number of Indian scheduled banks which have not been nationalized and branches of foreign banks operating in India belong to the private sector banks. Foreign banks are commonly known as a foreign exchange bank. These are the types of the uh, commercial banks. Then another types is that, it means B part is that uh, cooperative banks. Cooperative banks are an important components of the Indian banking system because of Indian country is basically rural country and so many peoples are directly and indirectly depends upon the rural financial system, and it can be possible of the cooperative banks. Then it is originated with the enactment of the Cooperative Credit Societies Act of 1904. These banks are classified as the urban cooperative banks and rural cooperative credit institutions. It means the state cooperative banks, which are the divided two parts, urban cooperative banks and rural cooperative banks. Then another part is that the district cooperative banks, which are the under the state cooperative banks, and this particular state cooperative banks is under the cooperative sector in major agencies. It means district cooperative bank is depends upon state cooperative banks for the financial support. But what is the exact uh, concept, exact definition of urban cooperative banks? The urban areas are served by the urban cooperative banks. These banks are registered under Cooperative Societies Act of the respective state governments. The Reserve Bank of India is the regulatory and authority of these banks for their banking related operations. The Reserve Bank of India extends refinance to these banks at bank rate against their advances to tiny and cottage industrial units. These banks are required to channelize 60% of total loans and advances towards priority sectors. Then rural cooperative credit institutions, it means rural cooperative banks, The rural areas are largely served by the rural cooperative credit institutions. There is a three-tier structure consisting of the following. First is that the state cooperative banks as the apex level exist and the state level. Then another one is that the district cooperative banks at the intermediate level existing at the district level. And last, the primary cooperative credit societies, it means primary agricultural cooperative societies, which are the at the grassroots level in villages, small villages, semi-medium villages, like that. Then the state cooperative banks and the district central cooperative banks provide financial support to primary cooperative credit societies. The funds of the Reserve Bank are provided to agricultural sector through the state cooperative banks and the central cooperative banks. And last, uh, which is the third part of this Indian banking system, in Indian financial system, which is the regional rural banks. It means RRBs. Since the middle of 1970s, the regional rural banks come into existence in India. These banks were set up with the specific objective of providing credit and facilities of deposits, especially to small and marginal farmers, agricultural labor, and artisans and small entrepreneurs. The rural development in respect of agriculture, trade, commerce, and industry is the prime responsibility of regional rural banks of India. These banks are essentially commercial banks. However, their area of operation is restricted to a particular district, which is limited to the work area is district level. Okay, thank you. Thanks for watching my video.